Crows asleep amidst the trees. Bats all are swaying in the breeze. But one so light, anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags, and wraiths. For your dolly Polly sleep has flown. Don't dare let her tremble alone, for the witcher, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold. He comes, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe. It's all silent for the night. House trembling as daylight dies. But when so light, anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags, and wraiths, my dear darling.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Haunted Connection show. We're bringing this to you from the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Hinckley, Leicester, and we're sponsored by Sims Vintage Antiques in Wootton Warren near Stratford. So big welcome to everyone. So tonight it's me and Neil, and guess what? It's nearly our 4th birthday. Next week will be our 4th birthday. Yeah, 4 years. Oh, sometimes it seems so much longer. So tonight we thought we'd do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to interview Neil over his last 4 years at the centre, and hopefully you'll enjoy it, and hopefully he will give us some juicy answers.
Yeah, and of course, if you've got any questions, put it in the chat and I will answer that as well. And Jane. He says 4 years and it's my first time here. Well, thank you for joining us finally. I hope you enjoy it. It's just a chat. So go on, Jane, far away.
Yeah, so 4 years. So 4.5 years ago, what were you thinking? What got you into changing your direction? Because we've been working together for a while. We did an investigations team, we did venues, we had guests, and then you sort of changed direction, didn't you? So what sort of thoughts did you have on changing direction?
I got really fed up with the guests, to be honest. It was what made me change was at Dudley Castle one night in my group. It was normally you and me in looking after our group, weren't it?
Yeah.
We had one guest who was playing on his phone all night, and that did my head in. So I thought, no more. And then so I wanted to come away from the venues. So then we changed it to an investigation team, didn't we?
Yeah.
But that didn't really work out, did it?
No.
So it didn't really work out. So I wanted to do something different in the paranormal, and I thought about haunted objects, and that's how this all started.
I remember when you first sort of mentioned it, because we were actually at Moira Furnace, and I don't know if you remember that was the very last investigation you did with the team that we were with, and we'd got a thermal camera, a FLIR camera, and we were upstairs in the attic, and I know you were really fed up at the time, and we were up in the attic, and I'd got this thermal camera, and I was taking it around the room, and I was drawn to this like box, this like chest, and I put this camera on the chest, and the heart of it, it was sort of glowing red, and I said to you about it, and I see this little spark in your eye, and that sort of fascinated me, because that was the first time I'd come across something that seemed to be alive in an item.
Yeah.
And
right.
So what started you collecting then? What started your collection of haunted items?
I thought about haunted antiques. I didn't just want any items, because I thought antiques were cherished items. So I sent an email to about 20 local antique dealers. Only one replied, which is Phil Sims at Sims Vintage Antique Centre. We remain friends to this day, so that must be 5 years ago now. That is possibly even longer. And I went and had a chat with Phil, and he allowed us. You were still with the 200 at that time. So I had a other medium with me that night. So we went and investigated his antique centre, had a fantastic night, and I thought, yeah, this could go somewhere. So then I was drawn to a couple of these items, so I bought them. So haunted antiques actually started at Sims, but then it started in my carport.
Yeah.
So I started doing live feeds on a Monday night from the carport, basically just putting an item on the table, playing a recording of Ben sort of introducing it, and Julie asking questions and see if there's any reaction from them items. And I'll put a pendulum on there or whatever. And I wanted to see what people picked up on from the screen.
Because they were really successful, weren't
they? They were.
And they were very sort of simple experiments, weren't they? You had very simple sort of basic kit there around the item, but they were very successful, weren't they?
They were very successful. I was amazed, all these different people picking up on things on these items.
So when your carport got too full,
yeah,
you then decided to move on to perhaps something a bit bigger, because you were actually getting activity in your house, weren't you?
We were getting activity in the house, yeah. Julie, quite often we heard footsteps up the stairs. Julie woke up one night and saw a figure standing at the end of the bed, and she got quite scared a couple of occasions. But a lot of people were asking me if they could come and see the collection as well. And I thought, well, it's not really very professional in the carport. So I spent about 6 months looking for a suitable place in England.
And then you ended up with the centre that we're in now, but you didn't take it first straight away, did you?
No. I went to see quite a few buildings. And I went to see the second floor where we are now. That's where we started. And I come back about 3 times to look at it to make sure it's what I wanted. And then I told the estate agents, yeah, I'll have it, but I'm going on holiday. This was perhaps Thursday. I said, I'm going on holiday Saturday. I'm not doing anything until I come back off holiday. And he says, oh, there's other people interested. It might be gone. And I said, well, if it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
But it didn't go. So whether it was destined to become the centre, I don't know. So that's where we started. We started on the second floor.
Yes, and the first night we came here was pretty amazing, I think, because we did an investigation, didn't we?
We did.
Before any furniture or any items at all were moved in, we actually investigated the building, and it was an amazing night. There was lots of activity, lots of spirit around.
Yeah, and that was without any items as well. So, okay, let's just put a couple of comments up. Roy says, hi from my team at Haunted Scotland. We're not alone. Thanks for tuning in. Facebook user says, hope you're both well. We are very well. Bluebell from Leicester's watching. Bloss says those were the days. And Adrian says, the building you're in now is haunted. Did you choose the building or did it choose you? I think it was a bit of both. I think I think we were destined to have this building, to be honest, because it's gradually grown to what we wanted anyway. I couldn't take on too big a building, and so I just took on the second floor. And then we took on the first floor, and then we took on the shop. So it's 3 floors now.
And it's been like a natural progression, hasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Linda says, Neil, how did you and Jane first meet? Okay, first time we met was at a ghost hunt at the Hinckley Museum from the team that we were later to join. So that was our first ghost hunt. No, we didn't speak that night.
No, we didn't, because you went because of Luke, didn't you?
Yeah.
Your son. And I went with Rosie, my daughter. And I do remember seeing Neil because he stood right at the back of the room and he was very quiet. And I was sort of, yeah.
Not
and
so
I was quiet too, because I was picking up stuff, but I didn't want to tell anybody.
Yeah,
and Rosie kept going, "Go on, Mum, tell them what you're picking up." And I was like, "No, it's all right."
So that's where me and Jane met, and then we both went on other investigations to other locations with them, that team, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Then the owner of that team asked me to come in as a business partner for that team, so I was co-owner. And then we wanted more team members, so we put an advert on Facebook for new team members. So you applied just as a team member,
as an investigator, yeah.
So Jane applied, and I didn't interview you.
I'd already been going to Hinckley Spiritualist Church at this point, and I'd already been there quite a while. So I'd already been doing mediumship. And when I told them this, they wanted me then to work more as a medium rather than as an investigator. So it was a bit best of both worlds, really.
Yeah. We needed a medium on the team, didn't we? John says it's an amazing building. Thanks, John. So keep the questions coming in if you've got any for me. Okay. Next
so once you'd got the building,
yes,
then was it a bit of a shock? Was it a sort of like, oh my God, have I made a mistake? Because a lot of people said to you, didn't they, that it would never work, it wouldn't be successful, it was a silly idea to actually take on a building to do it.
Yeah.
So, what were your sort of thoughts about that?
Yeah, like you said, a lot of people said that's stupid. They don't believe in haunted objects, and they thought it was a crazy idea. So the landlord on the second floor I had to sign a 3-year contract, but Judy, my wife, made me put in a clause that after 3 months, if nothing worked, I can get out of it. So I had a clause put in the first contract I signed so I can walk away in 3 months. Because to be honest, I didn't know if teens would want to come. I had to have teams come in to pay for it, because that's how we make the income. I didn't know if teams wanted to come. I had no idea what to charge team, because it was basically just 2 rooms and a tea room. Mm-hmm. And looking back, one of the first teams to film here was Phil and Sarah Wyman and Are You Haunted? When you look back on their video, there's not a lot on the second floor.
No.
There's not a lot of stuff in there. So it was a big gamble, because I was signing on if it cost me money.
Mm.
So
yeah. And with your haunted items, were you quite selective about them? Were you did you want to just sort of work with anything and everything? How did you come across a lot of your items?
Well, I believe we've got spirit guides, and our spirit guides guide us. So I could be walking around an antique centre, and something tells me that items I'm interested in. Neil, I'm not a medium, so I don't tend to buy things off the internet, because people can say it's haunted and put all sorts of videos on, but you don't know if it's true. So I just started off buying things that I was drawn to. So that's how it all started.
And then a lot of times people started to donate items, didn't they?
Yeah.
Once people started to watch your live feeds, and once people saw sort of, some of the work that you were doing here, people actually donated a lot of items, didn't they? Because they just wanted to get them out their house.
They did, and they those donated items tend to be dolls, don't they? a lot of people think they have a real negative haunted doll in their house. Sometimes they are. So, we've got some really cool dolls that have been given to us, like Anna's was given to me, and the Raggedy Ann doll was given to me. But a lot of them, there's really not a lot to them. So whether it's their imagination or something else in the house, I don't know. But it's a cool collection we've got now. So that's just what John's comment up. John says, when we came, it was only a tea room, doll room, and sounds room. And that was really early days, though. I believe we were the first team to spend the night. You even talked to Bosworth. Yes, you were the first team to stay overnight. And of course, you captured that shadow figure in the doorway. So it's not a bad start, was it?
No.
Because after our first night, we knew the place was interesting.
Yeah, and we have captured a lot of interesting evidence, pictures, videos, all sorts of things, haven't we? Yeah. And looking at all that evidence that there is, most of it's been captured from other teams, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
And what do you what do you think is the best piece of evidence that you've captured here?
Oh, that's difficult, that one, isn't it? I do. There's several. The one is the picture that John took, the shadow figure in the doorway, because we got it on CCTV. John's actually sent me the footage from the CCTV as well. There's no one in the doorway. That was really cool. Although some people, as always, try to blow it out of the water, but that's up to them. Another one was the mirror being lifted up and smashing in the Chamber of Fear. That was interesting. Yeah. But I also like the two of the latest ones. The thing in the doorway to the attic room. That's cool. And that entity walking across the attic room door. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the latest one's cool as well, that I've not shown anybody yet. That's to come. It's the same team that caught the figure walking across the door. I think it's probably the same camera. For a split second, there's a face there, and it just comes in and out. And they've sent me the full footage, but it's just there for a split second, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what do you think that is?
I think it's pretty amazing. To me, it looks like possibly a creature. But people, everybody who's seen it so far have all sort of perhaps come up with different things, because your eyes
we all
tell you
see
a
things
thing,
different, don't we?
Which I think is really quite. I think it's important when you share evidence like that.
I
and
like
get lots of different feedback and lots of different ideas.
When people don't say that we're not all going to see the same thing, that's impossible. That's what annoys me sometimes about EVPs. When they put it on the screen, what they think they said, as soon as they put it on the screen, everyone hears that word. But I like it when different people think, oh, it's a doll's head, or it's a creature, or it's something else.
So what do you think about the volume of information, pictures, videos, and that everybody's sort of collected over the last 4 years? Mm-hmm. Because it's not just your normal run-of-the-mill stuff, is it?
No.
There's been some amazing footage and amazing pictures captured by visitors to the centre, paranormal teams, and people coming to stay overnight, and lots of things like that. So what do you think about the volume of evidence that you've captured here?
I think it's quite amazing, actually, because like we've said many times in our chats, you don't see that sort of amount of evidence coming from anywhere else, really. 30 East Drive is supposed to be the most haunted building in the country, but the evidence,
you see very little.
The evidence in comparison, and we've not shown everything because some things we want to delve into further, so we've not shown everything. So I think it's quite incredible. However, we're not like some other locations, and we won't say we are the most haunted building in the country, because I don't know how anyone can say that. We won't say we've got the most haunted doll in the country. How do you quantify that? We got some pretty amazing items, We've got an amazing building.
Yeah, we have. So we've got items and we've got the building. So what were your thoughts when we first discovered spiritual creatures?
That was quite scary, wasn't it? I must admit that was quite scary because we're going out the realms of dead people.
Yeah.
Now we've gone into the realms of creatures. What are these creatures? What are they doing here? But now we've got quite a few, and I think they've been sent here to test us. Each one seems to be a little stronger than the last one. So once we've passed that test, we move on to something else. So it was scary. I must admit, I did have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
However, as long as Jane is happy that she can handle whatever comes in, I'm in safe hands, unless she runs away when someone bangs on the door.
Won't be the first time.
Okay, let's put some comments up. John says, the figure walking across the door and the thing are amazing captures. Captures?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Facebook user, I don't know who you are, sorry. Is there an item you could have brought to the centre but you didn't now and regret it? Possibly, yes. Possibly I saw there was a wheelchair that belonged to a real famous family, and it's a Victorian wheelchair. Whether it's the Dalton, the pottery family, it belonged to a famous family, and it was too expensive. I do wish I'd got that one. So yes, there are. Linda says, what was there before you took over the centre? Who had it before, and did they move because of activity? The second floor, it had been empty for years. It was a solicitor's before me, so I don't know about activity. Then when the estate agent showed me round, he did say it's supposed to be haunted, And I said, well, that's perfect, because then I told him what I wanted it for. Yeah. The first floor, they definitely had activity because they didn't speak to me because they thought I was doing things I shouldn't be doing. Well,
and
not
summoning
me.
things you shouldn't be doing.
We were delving into things that we shouldn't have been doing. So they didn't like me, and they had loads of activity on the first floor. They wouldn't go to the toilet on their own. They wouldn't go into the offices on their own. That sort of thing. They might have had a helping hand. That's all I'll say. But also the shop, we've learned since we took the shop on, we have spoken to people who used to work here, and they said, yeah, they had strange things happening.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's a fantastic building. So
it is.
Linda says, Bloss says she loves the sounds room. And Linda says, I remember you telling us that.
Yeah.
Yeah, about us helping hand.
Not sure about that.
You're not owning up to that one, Mrs. Rowley.
No.
Okay, Adrian says, have you let go of an item for being too negative? No. Absolutely not. If I had the real Annabelle doll in the centre, would love it.
So, sort of following on from Adrian's comment there.
Yeah.
So, what made you sort of put research in the title? Because you never heard of sort of research in the paranormal, regarding teams and things. So, in your title, and it is a bit of a mouthful.
It is. I didn't actually come up with that name,
Paranormal Research Centre.
It wasn't my idea.
But did you intend it to be a research centre?
I thought I'm interested in all aspects of the paranormal, not just ghosts. I'm interested. I love the UFOs. I love the cryptoids. I love Nessie. I love all that. So if we get chance and time, we do in research the alien side of things anyway.
Yeah.
But I thought having a centre, a base like this would be perfect to conduct research, because research takes years. I know we've been in here for. Have we researched everything? Not by a long way.
We're just scratching the surface.
So unlike other locations, perhaps, where they're not there all the time, so they can't continue the research as we can, because we're every day. So the research was important to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah knows this too well. Would either of you stay overnight on your own? Not a cat and mouse chance.
I'd probably have a go, but I wouldn't want to.
Challenge!
I wouldn't want to sleep. I'd want to stay awake all the time. I wouldn't want to go sleep and let them. Yeah.
A couple of years ago now, probably.
Yeah.
When we just had the second floor.
Yeah.
A guy was doing a charity night, and he was going to stay all night, and he was going to stay awake all night and investigate each of the separate rooms. But after we left him, and Matt says I would, after we left him, he was that scared.
By about 11:30, wasn't it, at night time? He was only a few hours in.
He wouldn't leave the tea room, as was on the second floor.
And from what I remember, he said that the building completely changed, and we've heard this, and we have experienced it ourselves, because even in the daytime, when we've been here on our own, the activity is quite a lot. Even when recently, when we were decorating, I was decorating the new seance room. I was wallpapering the wall, and I was in there, and it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I could hear footsteps going up and down the corridor outside, and I thought, oh, Neil and Julia are here. And 5 minutes later, I get a phone call because Neil and Julia were outside, and I'd left my key in the door and they couldn't get in. And it was like, oh, we was that walking up and down outside the door then?
I think if I could stay in one room, I could stay in one room all night.
Yeah.
That would be okay. But to me, it's the thought of walking from different room to different room.
And you don't know what, I've been in the seance room, and I've before a team's due to arrive, and I could feel the energy. I could feel that they were waiting. Yeah. They were waiting for this team to turn up. And when the team turned up, one of the chaps, he was only in there 10 minutes, and he had to come out, and he says, they've got me. And I knew it was him that they were waiting for when he arrived. And it was the building will react.
Yeah. Okay, Ross says he's thinking again, Jane. I try not to. Matt says he would. Yeah, nothing scares you though, Matt, does it?
But didn't Matt actually stay in there on his own, and he stayed in the tea room? Was it because he couldn't get his lift home? No,
because a team stayed overnight when I didn't realise, and Alison had gone home, so Matt had to stay, and I've got to get work for work the next day, so I left Matt to it. Sorry to hear about your dog today, Matt. I know your dog passed.
Oh.
Adrian says that would be the first thing I'd want to do. Laugh out loud. But like I said, it's a different beast when you're on your own, especially 3 floors now. That's a bit too bad for me. Paranormal time with Cam. Neil, I remember when we investigated your location the first time, and we had an amazing activity. Can't wait to return. Thanks for that. Sarah says no, I wouldn't. Linda says you should hold a skeptic night.
Well, we have had quite a few people coming with a skeptic, with sort of a skeptic mind.
Yeah.
And after spending some time here, I wouldn't say they've been completely converted, but after spending some time here, they have changed their thoughts quite a bit on the paranormal, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So, what's the next question then, Jane? Do you have another question for me?
Yes. So did you ever feel at any point that you were overwhelmed? Did you ever feel that you'd sort of took on more than you could cope with? Not necessarily the business financially, but more on the paranormal side.
Yeah. Not long after we opened, I was invited to RTV this morning,
Oh yeah.
and I was terrified. Seriously, I was at work. I was working there full time, and I was trying to think of how to get out of it.
Oh.
Seriously, until Hayley says, "Try this rescue remedy."
Yeah.
And calm me down. I could have done anything that day. She said, "Put a couple of drops on your tongue." I put about 10. And I was so chilled. I drove a van through the middle of London. But if you knew me 4 years ago, you probably wouldn't sort of recognise me now. Not because I'm just getting older. It's just that I'm quite okay talking now. But those days,
even when I met you at the museum, you were very quiet.
I wouldn't talk. What some nights I had to do the talk at the venues terrified me. The thought of standing in front of people talking terrified me.
Because that did then sort of launch you into being a paranormal celebrity, didn't it? You did lots of sort of interviews with the newspapers, and you did a couple. You went back to the TV a couple of times.
Yeah.
You were invited on shows. You're invited for interviews.
Yeah.
And you did lots of interviews for podcasts and all sorts of things. So how did you feel about that, being sort of launched as being a paranormal celebrity?
That was more scary than being in a haunted building. It did terrify me, but I got used to it. I got used to talking to people now because I do it every day. I don't do many interviews on podcasts now. Something come up on my Facebook wall. It's been a year ago since I was invited to do a live chat like this, and after I left, it got bad. Apparently, I've not even seen it still, and it caused me a lot of hassle because this guy, Drama Llama, got involved, and he says unless I condemn what they were doing, I'm as bad as them. And I says, don't tell me what I can and can't do.
Yeah, he sort of went on a bit of a one-man crusade, didn't he, to try and bring you down? And
he says your paranormal place will be closed down, and we're still here.
Does that surprise you? Considering
we're still here.
What over the last 4 years, you took this place on, and that was a bit of a challenge, a bit of a gamble.
Yeah.
But it seems to have grown and grown and grown, and it's grown sort of in a steady way.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you sort of have the blessing of spirit? Do you think that they're on your side and they're behind you, helping you?
I think there must be, yeah, because I think they are, because we've talked about this, haven't we?
We have.
Yes, we have. We do get messages from Jane get messages from spirit, and we do feel we've got the approval because I think we're doing it for the right reason. I'm not doing it for the fame. I'm not doing it for bags of money. As long as I can put food on the table at home, I'm happy. I can go on holiday, I'm happy. I don't want to make loads and loads of money. I'm not interested too much about being on TV. But we're not doing too bad, I don't think.
No, I think you've had a lot of support from spirit, haven't you? Because in the past, over the last 4 years, you've had people like your dad come through, your granddad, your grandma, and your spirit guide, the native Red Indian. You've had lots of sort of spiritual support there, haven't you? And they've come through sometimes on a regular basis with sort of messages like, keep going, Neil, we're helping you, we're guiding you.
I think so. Let's get some comments. Sarah says, have you ever taken a dog in there with you for a walk around to see if the dog picks anything up? There has been quite a few dogs come up. One lady brought the dog in for an all-night investigation. So, yeah, the dog was very wary about going into the old sounds room or the attic room now. Matt said the only thing that scared me was the CCTV, as it was about a minute behind, so I saw myself moving around in a different room. I must admit, Matt, that would freak me out. I'd have been out. I'd have been gone. John says, is the spirit that likes Johnny Cash still there? I think, yeah, she was attached to the wooden rocking chair. I think she liked us playing Johnny Cash that night. So she's still here. Yeah, the chair's still here. Nick says, I'm no sensitive and neither do I have medium qualities, but every time I go to the museum, I'm drawn towards Hannah.
So are a lot of people, aren't they?
Hannah is a weird doll. She has kicked me. She has kicked me. From the minute I got her and opened the box and let her sit on my settee at home, there's just something about it. I don't know what it is. Jane, so you think it's a weird thing?
Yeah,
it's
it
as if the
is,
doll
because
is the
it's
spirit.
not like a spirit that's attached to her. It's like the spirit is in her. It's not sort of attached as such. It's sort of like it's in her, and it's very, very sort of possessive. And this is why lots of people will go, oh, Anna. And, you know, she loves it when you pick her up and you fuss her and you carry her around all night, and she loves it. But when you stick her on her own and you ignore her and you know, don't give her any attention, that's when the activity starts.
So that's what we're planning on doing.
Our previous owner was a bit cautious with her, and she got fed up with her, and she got a bit frightened of her, and she stuck her in the attic on her own. And that's when things started to go really bizarre.
Yeah, so I'm thinking at the minute, Anna is going to have her own room. Because she's got to book her ideas up and do a lot more. Okay then, Matt says, everyone likes the man in black. Facebook user says, I'm with you there, Neil. I don't like being a limelight. Prefer to stay in the background. Then Matt says, I think it was the old lady who was attached to the rocking chair. Yes, it was. Linda says, it's also the people. You're all very welcoming. Yeah, I think it's not just one thing. This place, it's not just the building, it's not just the items, it's not just you separate everything, it wouldn't be the same.
There's lots of ingredients, isn't there, that make up the centre.
Yeah, if you didn't have the items, the building, okay, it's haunted, but it wouldn't have the activity. You put the items into another building, you probably wouldn't get the activity.
Yeah, and the mix of people that we have here, the team is very important.
Yeah.
And the team that we have now is helping us to sort of push through some new boundaries, which is really good.
Yeah. So it's a mix. It's a good mix. Adrian says, with your love of 70s music, have you considered a room with a haunted music memorabilia connection? I would love one.
That would be quite interesting, actually. That would be quite a good experiment, because we've experimented on trying to invite people from pictures into the building, and some of the people have been seen, like the man who was seen in the window.
Yeah.
So could it be possible for us to invite people through who've sung records?
Yeah.
In the same way.
That's been
watch this space. We might try that
experiment. Bloss says Hannah is the spirit. Yeah, it's a weird doll. She's like Marmite. Sarah says, if she turned and looked at me, I'd be gone out the door.
Yeah. Well, she has been caught moving, and lots of people swear they see her moving.
Yeah. John says, like that idea. And Bloss says, he even made me coffee last time I called in. Yes, I did.
Wow.
Because I'm a nice man.
He does do it occasionally.
John says, there is that David Byrne song that allegedly attracts spirits. Didn't know that.
We'll have to try that.
Let me know what it is, John. Terry says, make it soundproof. Yep. Linda says, David Bowie for the music room. Of course. I would love to get something of David Bowie's. Matt says, didn't we do a radio show in the past with music connected to the paranormal? Yes, we did, Matt. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. That was before we started the parology, wasn't
it? John says, Horses by David Byrne. I'm going to listen to that now then. That's fascinating. Yeah, I think I do like the idea of Anna having her own room.
Yeah. And talking about sort of new rooms and stuff, we know that you're not a person to sit back and leave a room sort of static for any length of time. You do like to move things around, mix things up a bit, lose everything inside.
So you're not on about Brasso again, are you, Jane?
Oh, it's gone into the depths of maybe it'll return one day. So with your enthusiasm of keeping things sort of mixed up and moving stuff around, do you think it's important to keep the centre moving, keep it sort of looking different, mixing things up a bit?
Yeah, it is for me, because I do get bored. I love the place, but I do, if the room's the same too long, I get bored with it. Just ask Julie.
Poor Julie.
Poor Julie. She'll go out one day and come back and the lounges all move around. It's just, I get bored, and I know I do love the place. I love what we do, but if nothing changed, I would get bored with it and I'd lose my enthusiasm for the place. I just will. I know I will. So there's only one room that basically has not changed since we moved in, which is the dolls room. So we are going to change that in the near future.
Yeah.
And we've got some ideas. So you'll have to watch that space. I'm not going to tell you what the ideas are. So the dolls room is going to be changing when we can.
And what, some of the rooms that you've got here are really quite interesting rooms, aren't they? And nowhere else like it, as far as I'm aware, nowhere else like it in the paranormal world has different sort of themed rooms like this, or where people can actually go, hold the objects, work with the objects and stuff like that. So is that what you sort of had in mind when you sort of put together the rooms like they are now?
It was always important to me that stuff weren't going to be behind glass. It was always going to be important that people can sit in the wheelchair. I know things will get damaged. The wheelchair had to be repaired because it's old. It's from World War II. And I know things will get broke, but fortunately we've only had one, perhaps two.
Not had much broken, have you?
Two things broken. Again, you see, when I first thought about this, I said things aren't going to be behind glass. People said, you're crazy, things will get nicked, things will get broke, but they haven't. But that's always been important to me, because there's lots of, especially now, I'm not saying that they're copying me, because they're probably not, but there's lots of haunted museums springing up all around the place now. But as far as I can see, things tend to be behind glass.
Mm-hmm.
But that's important to me. Not if we had the Conjuring doll, the Annabelle doll, that would not be behind glass here. The only things behind glass now are because the Spirit of asked us to put behind glass, really. Okay. Bloss says a cage for Hannah. Bet she loves you. Matt says, when are you getting a straitjacket and a padded cell room? Watch this space, Matt. See, that's how long we talked about these. Adrian says KLF would be in the White Room. Love that album. Okay, any more questions?
Oh, from me or from the
from anybody want to talk to me?
So how do you feel the centre is now? When you look back over the last 4 years, what do you think about the activity and the evidence that's been gathered? What do you think about the teams that have come? Looking back, how would you sort of summarise the last 4 years?
Okay, I'll just answer this question from Sarah first. Sarah says, is anyone hearing talking in the background and laughing? That's Amy. She's upstairs. And you know she's got a big gob. So that's Amy.
And her volume's broken up.
Amy's talking upstairs. We're in the office. Okay, the last 4 years, the vast majority of teams that have been in have been fantastic, and I'm pleased to say they are friends now. There's only been a few that I won't invite back for different reasons. The activity, obviously I'd like more activity, but I always want more. I'm happy that we're doing more nights now as a team, because we sort of had apart from COVID, it was so important to get every weekend booked up with teams because we needed the money coming in. But this year, especially this year, we're going to be doing more nights of our own, and we're going to be doing the virtual ghost hunts. That's when we investigate. Of course, you guys can watch, and it'll be a live show. So I'm looking forward to them. The Demon Files are special.
I was just going to come on to the Demon Files.
The Demon Files is to me, it's a special live feed series. We are learning so much about it. The good thing about this place is we can question anything and work with it. And things are sent to us, and then we have to act on them. Something's been sent to me this week that I'm not going to say what it is, but we are going to go somewhere. And last night,
working on it.
We're working on some dates. We are going to go somewhere. I've had someone come to me in my dreams and say, blah blah blah, you got to do this. Then we've talked about it and come up with a plan how to do this new piece of equipment to talk to these individuals. And last night, they just on to me all night. I've been up since about 3 o'clock because they just won't leave me alone, because telling me what else we need to do to get them.
Which I think is quite fascinating, really. And I was going to come on to the Demon Files. We've started this series called the Demon Files, and the intention is that we summon one of the 72 demons in the Lesser Keir Solomon. We invite them in and we work with them and we try and understand the truth about that demon. So we've done about 7 or 8 so far.
We've done 10 now.
We've done 10, have we?
We've done 10.
Ooh. So we've done 10 now. What do you think? How has it changed your perception and your thoughts of what you previously thought about demons?
It's changed my thoughts totally. I'm not going to say what I think about some institutions because it's pushed me well away from them. It's fascinating when you read about these demons. They're not that bad anyway, are they?
No.
No, the information you find out, which is in the public domain, they're not all bad. I think Hollywood and the TV shows have got a lot to answer for because they portray the paranormal in the wrong light. But we are learning so much, and the more we talk, they give us a little bit. It's like a jigsaw, isn't it? They give us a little bit each live feed, and we find out so much more. And this new thing that we're going to plan, possibly for August, I think it's going to answer some more questions. Answer the questions on that area.
Yeah.
Okay, some more. Then we'll put some more comments up. Terry says, Neil, have you asked the spirit how they want the rooms to look, or if they're happy with what you've done? That's Jane's job. If I come up with an idea, and Jane says, "No, Neil, they won't like that," I might listen to her. No, I won't. I'd listen to Jane. But I like we said earlier, I think they're guiding me anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't come up with crazy ideas just at whim.
Because even these dreams that you're having at the minute, they're not malicious, are they? They're not scary. They're just
they're not
giving you information.
They're not scary. It's just that I do want to sleep. And there's one in particular. She comes and she tells me different things. You got to do this. You got to do that. You know, last night it was just bombarded all early hours of the morning. What we got to do to get them.
That's good. But we do take on board what people say and how we want things to look. I had lots of visions of how the fairy porch should look, and we're just about there now.
Yeah.
We're just going to make sure that the lights are working that we've just put up, and that will more or less be ready. So we do try and accommodate spirit when they show us these things.
Yeah. Okay. Adrian says, Neil, you said about UFOs, and also for Jane, have you ever connected to a spirit from beyond the stars? Yes, quite a few times. We do believe all this paranormal is all interlinked. It's all linked together. Whether it's ghosts, aliens, cryptoids, everything. It's all joined together, and that's perhaps we're in a unique position because we're here all the time, and we do believe the sense like a beacon.
Yeah, we've got our little ET that we've got here. We've got we've been engaged with a couple of astral travelers. We've also had a big sort of collective energy.
Matt was here that night, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was. There was like a collective energy of about 12 different sort of beings, all within this collective energy. It wasn't the Borg or anything like that, but it was this like collective energy. And we did work with that one night. And also recently we did a Ouija board session where we ended up coming into contact with Mr. Death, or as we believe now, the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
But he also said that he doesn't just work on this world, he works on other worlds as well. So I don't know, is he an astral traveller too?
And he said he's not evil. He's the go-between. He's
like
there
the coordinator.
to guide people when they leave the body. Okay, Vicky says, "Hi guys, hope you're good. I have a question. Why does it cost me so much when I come to HAPRC? Because we have got a fantastic shop, Vicky.
We have so much fabulous stuff.
That's why, and you just can't say no." Okay. Cameron says, do you think the lockdown affected the amount of activity you got? I think possibly, yeah, because before lockdown, we got a table in the dolls' room. Never moved, did it?
No.
But since we come out of lockdown, it's been going everywhere. Whether they've been practicing, I don't know, or whether we got new entities in. So I don't think it didn't affect it in a bad way. To me,
but
I think they were waiting. The activity
does seem to be a bit enhanced, doesn't it?
I think they were waiting. Matt says, if you start connecting with spirits aliens, you have to start dabbling with transdimensional beings, not just spirits. Yes, that's very true. Sarah says, amazing, really enjoy it. Then she says, you guys keep it real. Amy says, hi guys from my office. So
she's just upstairs above us. Wait.
So yeah, we've got lots of plans. Like I said, the dolls' room will be changing soon. We got something really big coming, hopefully in August.
And we have also got some, we're also venturing out to a couple of places, aren't we? Dudley Castle.
We've got 2 nights booked at Dudley Castle, so you can come and investigate with us, which would be cool.
And we are looking at a couple of other venues as well to perhaps visit with members and stuff like that. So,
the main reason, not the main, one of the reasons we're doing this, obviously we want to come and investigate with you guys who want to come with us. Plus, I want to go back to Dudley Castle anyway, because I've not been for quite a few years. And I think get the right energy in that undercroft to do a séance at the end would be quite amazing. I think we're going to get some good activity then, because we used to anyway. But also, we're saving up to improve the CCTV system in the upper 2 floors. I've always said this. We did stream live 24/7. That is going to come back, but I need to update the CCTV system, so that this money coming in will pay for that, hopefully. Samantha says, I'm coming to see you in March and I can't wait.
Lovely.
Lovely. Look forward to seeing you in March. So yeah, like I said, we are doing our own nights with guests once a month here. So if you want to investigate with us, you can come once a month. We're also doing virtual ghost hunts where you can watch live us investigating. Whether we do one room a night, we'll see how it goes. You can tell us where you want us to go because it'll be interactive as always. Demon Files are going to be a regular, about fortnightly live feed. Because do you prefer doing live feeds to recordings?
I don't mind really. We just do what we do, don't we? Whether it's live feed or whether it's recording, it's
because I keep going back from
same.
live feeds to recordings, and I don't know. I do like the live feeds.
Well, the live feeds are pretty instant and they're out there, aren't they? And people can actually give you their reactions straight away. Yeah. Which is good.
Bloss says, are you getting my stair lift in? If I could afford it, Bloss, I would do, just for you. Because I want you to come up to the stairs with us. Any more questions? We've got about 4 minutes left.
So while we're waiting for some more questions, then, how do you think, or how would you like the next 4 years to go?
Difficult. Just to keep progressing. I know I've always said I don't mind. I don't really care about how many people watch the live feeds, but I think, especially the Demon Files, they deserve to be more widely watched. Just to educate people, really, I think. Because people tend to sort of follow blindly. They listen to what's been said before and they follow blindly. Jane has got an article in the Next Haunting magazine which you should all buy because it's a fantastic magazine anyway. But Jane's article is fantastic, and we will be discussing that at a late once the magazine's out.
Yeah.
I just think I do believe this year is going to be a big year for us. I don't know why. I just think we are building up to something really quite momentous, perhaps. Whether it's here or whether it's in August, I don't know.
Yeah. And next week as well, just while I think about it, next week the Haunted Connection show is just going to move to Wednesday, just for the 1 week.
Yes.
Because it's our birthday celebration. It's actually our birthday on the Wednesday. And Haunted Live will be here. We're going to have a bit of birthday cake. We're going to have...
Not chocolate cake. I don't want chocolate cake.
No, I'm not fussed about chocolate cake. So we won't be here on Tuesday, but we will be here on Wednesday. And
hopefully we'll get Paul and Andy and the guys to come down and make some comments. If anyone would like to send us any comments about our 4th birthday or send us a little video wishing us happy birthday, please do so. It'd be nice to get lots of people joined in because it is important. Bloss says, I like the one on Tanith. Is that Demon Files?
Lilith. Does she mean Lilith?
Linda says WH Smith sells it now. Yes, it does.
What do you mean I'm noisy?
You are flipping noisy. The Haunted magazine is now international. It's sold in America and it's sold in Australia and it's sold here. What more can you ask for? It is a fantastic magazine. If you're not subscribed to it, I recommend you do so because it is the best magazine.
And the shop is also a stockist, isn't it? So if you can't get one in your local area, just let us know and maybe we can put one in the post or
yes, of course we can. So any final comments before we say good night?
Oh, it's gone quick, hasn't it? It's last hour.
Yes,
like the last 4 years.
Can you believe it's 4 years? Can you believe it's 4 years since that first night
No.
when we investigated up here?
No.
Past couple of years, it's flown by.
Yeah, it has. It's gone really quick. But I don't think lockdown and COVID's helped because it's put a lot of things on hold. But hopefully we'll be picking everything back
Bloss
up
says
again.
hi, Amy.
Hi, Bloss, love you. We'll get him to put that stair lift in for you one day.
So, okay. So thanks for watching. Thanks for all your comments.
And we will see you next Wednesday for some birthday fun.
Vicky says hi, Ames.
Vicky.
She don't know.
Yeah,
She don't know who
Vicky.
you are, Vicky.
I do. Hi, Vicky. Love you. You come and spend some money this week.
Linda says fans tonight so interesting. Thank you, guys. Yeah, and don't forget we do a podcast. I know Bloss doesn't like podcasts. We do a podcast on a Monday night, 8 till 9. We play some fantastic music, if I say so myself.
Yeah, it is good. Some real blasts from the past.
And we just have a laugh. And Amy does her
Confessions.
paranormal confessions. Vicky says maybe.
I've got some lovely pendulum boards
No,
in.
you need to buy stuff off me. You wait to see what I'm going to make soon. Adrian says you're right, Neil. Ames is noisy. Yeah.
I'll get stuff, Dade.
Well said, Adrian.
Love you too.
So yeah, if you want to listen to good music and power chat with a laugh, tune in on a Monday. We'd like to get the podcast out a bit more. And like Jane says, we're back on Wednesday for our birthday.
Yeah.
No, we're not wearing birthday hats.
Neil's coming in fancy dress.
No. So lots of things coming up this year. Thanks as always for your support. After all, if teams didn't come investigate here, we wouldn't be open because we wouldn't be able to afford to.
Yeah.
Would we? So, sounds like not all. So, that's it.
So good night, and we will see you all next week. Bye for now.
See ya. She always has to get into it.
Was asleep.